I'm Bob. I'm with the Nashville Improv Company, and I'm going to be moderating this panel. I'm going to let our panelists introduce themselves because
you know none
John,
of us. Doesn't know anybody. You know none of us.
Well, I know John, and I know Kelsey, and there's Troy, and there's several other of you, and
other white people from the internet.
there you go. And some of you have cameras, and some of you don't.
Hey.
Troy.
Hey. Good one.
So, what I thought we'd do is just let everybody introduce themselves. Let's start with Disaster Piece Theater.
Well, yes, we're Disaster Piece Theatre. The theatre makes it fancy. And, huh?
I'm Alex White.
I'm Alex White.
I'm Stephen Grenade.
Oh, that had to hurt.
I'm going to try not to get hit by this mic. I'm Kelsey Baker.
I'll teach you to correct me. So anyway, we specialize in taking, we play a couple of movie producers who take bad Hollywood pitch ideas and try to make them as real as possible.
Now, would these be bad Hollywood ideas that have already been filmed?
Sadly, we've been prescient sometimes.
Yes.
Yeah, so like there was a squirrel horror movie that we've kind of predicted.
Why are you giving them ideas? You know they're going to make them.
Because we want to keep you employed.
We've got time to train you. Big mouths.
Yeah.
There you go.
No bad ideas, no honest trailers. That's all I'm saying.
And we also
Well, there's good ideas that are just implemented badly.
Yes. And we also do short film skits. Occasionally we go to actually producing some of our terrible ideas for YouTube.
Brilliant. And how many channels do you have on YouTube?
All the channels. All the channels.
All channels, all the time. It's YouTube, internet access.
It's really just us.
They're your boss.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, John.
Hang on.
We're going to interrupt today's video session while John checks his messages.
Shut up, I'm internet famous. I don't miss anything important here.
So, do you want us to come back to you?
I have an autistic son, so I have to keep on the phone. So.
You do what you need to do.
My name is John Bailey. You might know me mostly for the epic movie voice of Honest Trailers. But I also have worked on so many different channels. I've worked on Smosh channel, Smosh Games channel. I've worked for Annoying Orange. I've worked for Cartoon Hooligans, for How It Should Have Ended, for McGoiter. I've worked on, Arlenauts, which is like bad lip reading. It's really funny stuff.
We're also next.
Well, I'm getting that. This is a YouTube panel,
This is
not a
the
voice
YouTube
actor
panel.
panel.
What is a
So,
voice
we're only
actor
talking
panel?
about the YouTubes. But yeah, there's a bunch. There's so many of them at this point that I lose track. Break. We did some pranks for those guys. Yeah, just a little bit of everything. You've probably heard my voice on things that I don't even know I'm on. So
Countless clips.
And I actually have my own YouTube personal channel. It's, I know we were going to shamelessly plug ourselves at the end, so I won't get into it. But on my own channel, I do a little bit of sketch stuff. I do voiceover tutorial type stuff. I do movie reviews, obviously, because he doesn't want to hear a movie review or preview with the guy who does the voice for movie trailers in real life, which I do. And I also do this thing called imitation gaming, which is my own take on doing impressions. Because there's so many YouTubers out there that just do, okay, here's 100 impressions or whatever, and they put a picture. It's subliminal messaging, folks. They're putting a picture and a name up. They're making you think that's what voice that they're doing. So even if it's bad, they're like, oh, okay, that's Mickey Mouse, because they just told you it was. Mine's a little bit different. Mine, I actually do very bad cosplays, or I just do a bunch of voices from the games while playing the game, which is not as easy as it may sound. It's very difficult to do two things at the same time, but basic concept like Marcus Phoenix plays Gears of War, or Wolverine plays Wolverine Origins, but it's a very funny concept. A lot of people like to watch it. And yeah, that's me.
That's John. Next up,
Cool. And
Marble Hornets. And
so we are THAC, and we are basically a multimedia production entertainment company. We make cartoons, we make live action series, skits. You may know us from Marble Hornets.
Thank you, one guy. Thank you, Benedict Cumberbatch.
that was the sound of one guy clapping.
And our new series, Clear Lakes 44, which has been really cool. We've been working really hard on a bunch of cool stuff, and we have a lot more to share. So you can check out both of our channels, THAC and Marble Hornets.
Cool stuff.
I'm Troy, and what he said.
Oh yeah, I'm
Joseph.
Noah, by the way, and Joseph.
Joseph.
Tim.
Hi, Tim. Hey. We're already done, man. It's over.
Professor. Pass it over. Watch for the speaker behind you there, just so we don't get the
Oh yeah, the
nasty.
feedback.
I'm Professor Shy Guy. I'm late because I really wanted a Pepsi. I'm cheating on my diet this weekend, so I can go like 2 hours without a Pepsi.
For a shy guy, you know how to make an entrance.
He's our booth buddy, and for like the last hour, he's been talking about Pepsi.
Yeah. Cheating on my diet, I gotta have it.
You'll notice how, we're doing a panel here on YouTube. You'll notice how that sneaky product placement was put in.
Yeah.
Ah.
Something to keep in mind.
Hey, at least we can't skip that ad either.
But yeah, I make songs and occasionally make YouTube stuff. Not nearly enough, because I've been working on recording music. But when I'm done with my new album, I actually have time to do multiple things, like make more videos. So I like making music videos. I've never made any money from YouTube, so I'm kind of here to learn as well. Like I've never.
Wait, you can get money from YouTube?
Yeah. What? Like I mean, I don't have tons of views. Like I have a couple videos like 20, 30,000, but yeah, I've never made a cent. So I'm here to learn and ask the questions if I want to know too.
Brilliant. So, I thought it might be interesting to start out with a question about content. Because some of you are doing things that are more, I call it episodic. Some of you are doing things that are more individual pieces. And I guess the question that a lot of people might have is, if I'm going to put something up on YouTube, and it's not just a one-off, right? Like, I want content, I want to be picked up, I want to be on network TV. How do you approach the content part of it if you know you're going for something that's either a one-off or more than that, especially if you've got a brand as a channel and you want to have some continuity? How would you attack that?
What I would say is basically moving forward to I want to make something, make sure it's something you want to do, make sure you're actually enjoying doing it, and like I want to wake up every day and I want to look at this. This is something I want to be a part of. That is just the best attitude, because then not only are you making something that you like or you find funny or you find entertaining, but also the heart and soul is into it, and then your audience can enjoy that too, the same kind of vibe. So if you're making a series, obviously have the passion behind that concept, but also it's exactly. Don't do it. Don't do it just for the money or just for the views.
Don't do it for the money.
Yeah.
The money.
But yeah, basically like people are gonna see right through like that. It's just kind of like, okay, hey, that's okay, whatever. You know what I mean? Like when there's heart in something, it's way more enjoyable to watch too. But also having that momentum of, along with I want to do this, but having the momentum of I want to release on a regular basis too. Having that constant flow of content, it allows people to really get engaged and go, I want to see what happens next, or I want to see the next episode with my favorite character or something. And it makes it a fun universe, if you will, for people to watch.
Totally. So John, you slid the mic.
Yeah. Do you? I'm gonna add before.
Follow-up question.
Do you find that you get less trolly comments whenever it's something you really like?
Well, we disable
Haters
comments.
gonna hate.
Comments, we don't need no
It does not matter if you love it or hate it. They're gonna be.
I know they're going to be.
Yeah, no, Marble Hornets, we wanted it to be as immersive as possible, which is why we're at this convention. We decided very early on that the comments would take away from it. So for us, from a storytelling perspective, it actually made somewhat of sense to just disable it. So we actually didn't have to worry about that for a long time.
I embrace the trolls.
Yeah.
I have no problem.
I don't get enough.
We have a great.
Doesn't make me feel real unless I get some hate.
I have a follow-up to yours. That's actually one of the 5 things about creating content, is make sure you do what you like. The other one is make sure that you oh man, dang it, I forgot it because you said one of them is the dang, I forgot.
Monetary reasons.
No, it's not monetary reasons. It's be no, not be consistent. It's be either better than everybody else at what you do. You know, be the best at it. If it's a YouTube reaction video, do the best, or do your own twist on it. Do something.
Yeah.
Or the other one is do something that nobody else is doing, which is really hard to find on YouTube because literally everybody's doing everything.
Yeah.
And make sure that you. What was the one that was a follow-up to yours? It was not love what not necessarily love what you do, but it was something along those lines.
Love the one you live.
Love the one you live. I'll come back to it whenever I remember it.
Well, let's pass it on.
But yeah, because it was to stick to what you're best at, so your strong suit. So I mean, not necessarily just like what you like, because okay, if you can't do impressions, don't make impression videos.
Right.
Or if you're gonna do that, be the worst impression video. That would be a spin. That would be your own unique spin on it. I do voice-related videos because that's what I'm absolutely best at, is doing voices. If your strong thing is editing, or I mean, you shouldn't do music production if you don't know how to make music. So yeah, stick to your strong suit and make it something that you love to do. That was the one that I did.
So Disaster Piece, you guys have a slightly different, it's less of a narrative thing in terms of the arc of the series. What would you bring to this conversation?
So one of the things that I think is decide why you are doing what you're doing and what your audience that you'd like to reach is. Like a lot of our skits that we are doing are 1 to 2 minute short pieces meant to be viewed at, in a lot of cases, at conventions, at places like Dragon Con or here. And so that really adjusts the tone of what we're doing and sort of drives a lot of our creative decision making when we are doing a skit to be filmed.
So the point of view is being driven by the audience you're trying to reach.
Well, and what we want to do with it.
Right. Follow?
Well, and we never have to worry about throwing anything away necessarily, because we have day jobs. We have kind of the choice to do or not do anything we feel like. So that's kind of fun.
Brilliant.
I think going back to the question of series versus one-off things too, and when you're trying to come up with these concepts and stuff, it does require a fairly significant amount of introspection too, because you need to think. You can't just say, I want to make a series, and you come up with a concept, and then you find you've started it, and you find down the road that you're forcing it, when it could be a thing where if it's more condensed, it would have actually turned out better. So I think the self-reflection part of it before you even start is really important when you're diving into making something.
So you say it's sort of like having some idea of where you're going to go with it and how you're going to wind it up.
Yeah, I would add to that, consistency is a big part of YouTube. So if you want to make a series, make sure that you can be consistent and make that series. Right. Because the one main thing to get, I mean, you can do this. The reason why I started YouTube, I made what I wanted to watch. I didn't care if anybody else watched it. Once people started watching it, I started having to rethink how I made my stuff. If you watch honest trailers, you realize there's a pattern. I mean, oh, it just happens to be the 30th anniversary of Little Mermaid. What a coincidence. So be topical. I mean, when the big, reaction videos are a big thing and everybody's doing Star Wars Force Awakens reactions trailers, I did a reaction trailer to the Star Wars trailer. So I mean, it makes sense to be topical. But if you're doing it like a series that is outside of like what people are searching, because it's all based on Google searches. If people are searching for stuff, then your videos will pop up. But if you're just doing your own thing, be consistent with it. You don't want to say, okay, we're going to start this awesome thing, and then you just leave your audience hanging, because you're going to have a lot of people that hate you, and not just the trolls.
So, if we go back to Disaster Piece Theater. So, when we think about doing these videos, a lot of times people get hung up in technology.
Yeah.
Did you address that?
Oh, well, yeah, one of the things that we kind of think about a lot is, so my background is in video production, and when I first started, the kind of camera that is in your phone would have cost millions of dollars. And so we always say, learn the technique, not the tech.
There you
go. And so, yeah, I mean, I regularly bring new employees up through my day job structure. And it's always the same. Always focus on the artistic merits. Always focus on, how light works. Don't worry about the tech level. Is that what you're asking?
Yeah.
Okay.
There are a lot of lessons to be learned from how television and film are filmed. If you're going to do something more than like with the honest trailers, most of it is the trailers with the occasional shot of you. But if you're going to do something, like with the Marble Hornets, where you've got a set and a location, think about what that's going to look like. Think about the shots that you want to get, and you can do that with fairly inexpensive equipment and have something that looks pretty good.
We shot Marble Hornets on a Sony Handycam.
You can actually look back on a lot of our, including our channels.
On a Sony Handycam, like consumer grade.
You'd be surprised what you can get from Galaxy Note 3 if you have good lighting. Maybe it's a
or
lot
if you're
harder.
cool, an iPhone.
Yeah.
You can actually, you can actually look back and probably even through some of our channels, and you can see how the quality eventually upgraded.
Yeah, if you
the
get
more
good
people
lighting,
watch, we can improve as we go. When I first started working with Smosh Games, I didn't actually they introduced themselves to me before I even knew who they were. I had no idea who we thing where there's Ian and Anthony. And then when they said Smosh, I'm like, Smosh what? Sorry. And so they explained it to me. I was like, well, if I'm going to work with these guys, I should look back at what they did. And I started from the beginning, work my way up. And you can see the evolution of the technology. They get eventually they get lights. So you don't have to have the best of the best. People still watch it. But eventually you can improve and get the lights, and you can get all this stuff in a pretty low budget. I mean, you can get an entire green screen kit, including the lamps and the frame, for a couple $100, if less.
Yeah.
Straight off eBay for buy it now.
So I'm
like,
gonna
I got
bring
mine for like $120.
That's fancy. So I wanted to bring up another thing. This is a hot button for me personally, but we'll start with you, and then I want to come over to the point of view that you're about using the camera out of the phone as well. Audio. Audio. Now we just talked about if you're going to use your phone to do the video, you got to have light, people, because the phone will do all sorts of weird things. But audio is a big deal too. Want to chat about that for a sec?
Yeah, I mean, basically, we're starting over here, we're going around?
Either way.
No, go ahead.
Okay. Oh, actually, I think Tim has a really good thing. This one?
Tim's our sound guy. So.
Yeah, with audio, it's sort of like there's kind of a floor, I think, where it's like once you get to like if it's super duper cheap, then it's not going to sound that good. But once you hit a certain threshold of maybe like $100 microphone, the beauty of audio is that the gear really hasn't changed a whole lot since like the 50s. Like these microphones right here are
SM58.
yeah, they've been around since the 50s, and they cost the same amount as when they were around. That's one of their selling points. Is these were $100. These were $99. These were $99, and they will always be $99. And these are like more or less industry standard for this kind of thing.
Right.
So it's like below a certain area, you're not gonna get super good quality, but once you get up to like maybe the $99 or so for something like this or a shotgun microphone or something, it's really just sort of sharpening what you have after that. So that's what I would say on that point.
Yeah, and I think how are you shooting what you're doing? I mean, you're doing kind of individual things.
See, I do well for audio. For me, it's a lot simpler because I'm in my room and recording music. It's not like where I have to dub words or be in an outside space. Like if you're outside, the wind hits the microphone. There's a whole level of stuff that I haven't had to deal with. But and again, like I'm completely with that. My first album I shot with a $100 condenser microphone plugged into a $30 mixer that went to my computer. Like it wasn't like a USB interface, which I have now. Like it's a little fancier, but even that's pretty cheap. But again, like that's $130, and I did an entire album basically. Because I pirated the software. So like what I had to physically buy, which I couldn't Control-C, Control-V, a microphone. Would I steal a car if I could Control-C, Control-V a car? Yes, I would. Yes, I would. That's a stupid question.
You wouldn't download a car.
Take the back guy, leave me alone.
So would it be fair to say a pro tip for if you're shooting from a phone is get an external microphone and figure out how to pick it up?
There are great programs. I use a guitar, like when I play live, I use a guitar thing that goes to my iPhone. I have an iPhone for music stuff because it has its benefits for sure. iPhone definitely does. There are microphone ones that are just you can plug a microphone into your iPhone and get pretty good audio, pretty great audio. Because again, if you get the right lighting, your phone camera can do amazing things. But if you can't really get great audio out of your phone mic.
I happen to have it right here.
Oh, look at that. Perfect.
He has his phone mic.
Well, see, I'm a voice actor, so I have to be able to record every hour of every day. But this is the MIC, plug straight in through your lightning cord, which you have to get an adapter if you have a newer phone, because it comes with the iPhone 4 adapter. But yeah, a condenser, and it's less than $200 and it plugs straight into your phone.
Twisted waves.
I can't really comment so much on audio because I am a professional voice actor for my full-time job. But the one thing that I did save a lot of time in editing on is I found a fairly affordable camera that had a mic jack on it. So I just plug in my setup straight into the camera.
Yeah.
It saves me editing, and the audio is so much cleaner and better.
Pro tip 2 for this afternoon. You can get an external mic for your phone. Make sure you get a camera that has an external mic input.
Another thing I wanted to bring up too is when I work in animation, basically you have to bring all the pieces together, bring characters, background, all these different pieces. But just like cartoons, just like film, just like a lot of things, any kind of visual medium, when there is audio, the audio does make a difference, especially when it comes to atmosphere or scenery. So if you have happy music going on during your scene, it's really not going to be a moody, dark scene. Especially if it's just kind of, if you want to have some kind of like, oh hey, we're trying to show that it's a birthday party. And if you watch footage of a birthday party and there's no sounds of like people partying or noisemakers, you're going to feel like I'm just looking at a picture. So yeah, or horrified.
But you can go with the fun juxtaposition of playing classical music while people are getting murdered. That's really fun, but that's going for a crazy thing.
Exactly, but and that's the thing too, is you can create a completely different kind of scene the way you use sound or the way you use music and ambiance. Even with, because I actually do voice acting as well, when you actually play different characters, sometimes it even warrants different sound effects from yourself. You know, so it can also add in different elements of what the character's supposed to be feeling or what the character's supposed to be playing, even as playing a role. So.
You're dying to say something, I can tell.
No,
See?
fidgeting. I never stop moving my hands.
I was watching Cooties, the movie Cooties recently, which is like a bunch of children in like elementary school turn into zombies. It's got like Elijah Wood. It's great, it's funny. But if you take the same scene, there was a scene where like this girl was bloody and things were bad, but like it's a comedy kind of movie, so they played happier music right there, and I felt calm and funny. But if you were to take dark music over that same exact shot, that same exact context, even the context didn't have to change, just the music. It would have been a super dark, like what was happening to her could be funny in this scene, but also could be super dark. Don't have to change the editing at all.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually so funny that you guys are inadvertently finding out about how they put together films and TV shows. It's called ADR. They actually have a group of people who come in, and when they film a scene like this one, let's just pretend that you guys are in a rave. Instead of people actually dancing and actual music, it's completely silent. Only the main actors in the foreground are actually talking the entire scene. So they record every layer separately. So the people in the background, they actually have people making up fake conversations and recording that separately. The music is recorded separately, and the sound effects are recorded separately. So every layer is a little bit different, and they have people that actually physically fill in for those blanks.
If you go into YouTube, a couple of years ago, there's this thing that was going on where people were recutting movie trailers and turning, for example, The Shining into Shining.
So funny.
And you can see just how much just the audio completely changes it and the music.
I think one of the other things about audio too, it's the, if we're doing videos, there's the interplay of the video part and the audio part.
Right.
But if you close your eyes and you can't understand what's going on in the audio, there's a problem. Pro tip number 3.
Well, even with ADR that John mentioned, there's definitely, you can hear a difference between good ADR and bad ADR if the person making it doesn't have, I guess you'd call it like spatial awareness for the audio. Like if somebody's supposed to sound like, they're in a crowd, like maybe one person's over here and one person's further back, but then like their lines are ADR'd and they both sound like they're right up against the microphone all the time, it stands out really easily. And that's usually,
Watch The Dark Knight Rises and listen to Bane. That's what he's talking about.
Funny thing, the movie Heat, the entire thing was re-recorded.
Oh yeah.
The audio was so bad because of wind noise and stuff, they had to record the entire thing over again.
A 3-hour movie? I didn't know that.
Well, they actually didn't they use the gnat sound of the guns for the gunfight in that or something like that? I think they didn't.
I don't
actually
think it's
try
right.
to
The Heat or The Heat?
No, Heat.
Heat with De Niro and Pacino?
Yeah.
And from what I understand, it's not even De Niro's voice, it was somebody doing his
Yeah.
his
So
sound.
ADR has to do with dialogue replacement. Okay.
No.
For those of you-
Actually, it's audio digital recording, but audio dialogue
Well,
replacement.
they talk about it as audio dialogue
I
replacement.
actually asked a guy who does it for a living,
Yeah.
he still doesn't know what it is.
Pro tip number 4, if you're not sure, make up the term.
That's right. Like the C-47. Anybody know what a C47 is?
Yeah,
Airplane.
it's a microphone.
Okay, so it's a clothespin. That's the so when you have to fill out a production budget and you don't want to put clothespins, put C47s.
Not to be confused with C4.
Oh yeah, and can I just say also, don't try to, like, the poorer you are, the less you should be trying to fix things in post. Because that's expensive.
That was trick tip 5, 6,
If
7,
you're
and
poor,
8.
embrace it. Make it bad.
Right, like for instance, ADR, you need a screen and the ability to sync things up, and you need a studio space to record in, or at least somewhere that doesn't suck, right?
Oh, I almost forgot. There's actually a
Sean's got the
new
mic
thing right now. I don't know how many of you use Adobe Premiere Pro for editing.
Yeah.
You can get that now monthly for only $15 a month,
Yeah.
rather than having to pay $1,500 for it. So even if you are poor, you can actually bring your quality level way up.
And if you're a student or related to a student, you can get the entire Adobe collection for free. It's $20 a month.
Yeah.
It's $20 a month. It's
That's basically
$360.
free.
$360 a year is free to you.
Need that.
He's rolling in internet dollars.
A year.
That was
That's
panel
$360.
product placement number 2. No funds were exchanged with members of the panel. So, go ahead.
Oh, real quick. To go along with what you were saying, don't try to make it too much better than you can make it. I had 2 years ago, I shot a video at GMX. I had 4 hours to shoot the video, and I had no money basically. And I had this idea for a video, so I basically made cardboard and duct tape weapons because it's about that YouTube show, The Guild, like the song was. So I made cardboard weapons and duct taped them, and then made costumes and stuff like that. Brought it, and then the video was about how I had, looking real shoddy, and like the bed was made out of boxes and just a blanket. So like the video looks really shoddy and everything's rushed and weird because literally everything had to be rushed and weird and shoddy because I had no time or money. And it turned out great because I made it with what I had, and like Ella McLean was in it, and I just took some of the guests and put them in there, so it made me look more legit than I was. So if you could do that, do that.
Yeah.
But,
So, it was brought up earlier, this idea about I'm making so much money off having my videos on YouTube. Right. There's a lot of different motivations for putting stuff up on YouTube or just doing these kinds of projects. Sometimes that's your product entirely and you'd like to monetize it sometime. How? Other times, and I know, John, you use social media and all that to just basically launch your career.
Actually, my career was already launched before YouTube.
Well, I mean, the whole social media idea.
Actually, I'll tell you the real reason. It's so funny. I use YouTube for tax purposes. To be perfectly honest. When you're self-employed and you're a voice actor, and then you've already bought your mic and you've already got your computer, you really don't have a lot of expenses except maybe some travel. And if you make enough money off of YouTube where you can claim it on your taxes, anything you spend, if you use it for video purposes, can be tax deductible. So yay, tax deductible.
There you go. But I guess
last year I would have had to pay in $15,000 if I didn't have anything to claim.
I think I was really just thinking of YouTube, though partly as there's the aspect of it being social media, and we didn't get a chance to talk earlier because I got stuck, but
Sure.
you did get part of what moved you forward was stuff
Well,
that got
with
posted
the
online.
YouTube stuff,
Well, not the
I had
YouTube, but the stuff that got posted online before that
well,
people
to
hear.
be honest, like my big breaks actually came because I was doing YouTube on my own, but I'd been a professional voice actor for several years.
Right.
And I started off doing dubs of old 80s cartoon stuff, Transformers, G.I. Joe, just kind of redubbing over until I realized the whole copyright issue that broke out a few years later. And I realized I can't really get anywhere else with this, so I shouldn't do this anymore. But then I just started kind of doing on-camera and just doing, again, stick to your strong suit. I started doing voice stuff and people found me. By the time the guys from Honest Trailers found me, I actually had fully established myself as a movie trailer voice actor, among other things. And he was like, dude, this guy's like a legit movie trailer voice actor, so he contacted me.
Which
so
would
that was like the
clearly make them more honest.
yeah, the big, yeah, thank you. That was like the big YouTube break.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Okay.
with social media, I really didn't start implementing that until I realized that it was necessary if you were a YouTuber and a voice actor to try to network with other people in the business or to promote your whatever you work on.
I think, so, brilliant, good stuff. Kind of going to leave the question on the table for the other panelists. It's, this idea of I'm doing these projects because, like you said, I've got a day job doing video production, so it may help that, or it may be just this is a passion and we're just doing it.
Well, actually, my day job is, a lot of the videos that we shoot for the day job are technically very nice and precise, but emotionally very boring. And I've got a great group of friends, and you know, we work together on videos because it's fun and we love it, and we have the gear sitting around, and we've not made any attempt to monetize. We just happened to get a good in with Dragon Con where we, not really happened to, this is the science director at Dragon Con, but but you know, yeah, so I mean, we do it because we love it, and so yeah, I mean, if it ever became not that, then it would just dry up immediately.
Gotcha.
If your primary motivation is to make a career out of YouTube stuff, I highly suggest you reconsider, because you will not find
Don't worry about my dreams.
You will be hard pressed to find a more volatile environment to try to make it in that regard. So definitely your first concern should be making things out of passion, or not even, you know, just you have an idea and you want to see where it goes, go for it. Make it the best you can. But, you know, you shouldn't do it for the money. And I think that's the same for a lot of creative endeavors. You shouldn't do it for the money. There's a reason I dropped out of music performance. But yeah, YouTube especially, and it seems like a lot of people go into it now with the wrong mindset, because you do have so many YouTube celebrities getting just absurdly big, and now branching out even beyond YouTube. You have your Viners, you have, you know, Twitch streamers, you have all these people yes, I don't know. Vine celebrities? I don't know. I don't know what
Vine folk.
I don't know what the terminology is for that.
Vineyards.
Yeah, vineyards. The vineyards.
Vanguards.
All these people that are now making a, you know, very respectable living doing something that a lot of people would consider a hobby. But you know, when you start to look at the numbers and like what kind of percentage of people are actually making anything resembling a livable wage against all the other channels out there, just go out for the NBA, man. You'll have a better shot and you'll make more money.
All of the things that are absurdly big now that Joseph was talking about, I'd say like 99% of them started off as labors of love. So
oh yeah.
Keep
So
it
absolutely do it. That's not to discourage you from making something. In fact, I highly encourage you to make it. Just if your primary motivation is monetary, it's I don't know. I don't know what to tell you.
You won't succeed based off of just, oh, I've seen success, so I want success.
Yeah.
It should be based off of just, like, for example, I love to just make funny things. I like to make people smile and laugh. That's what I want to do. That's just bottom line what I'm interested in doing. And I really
Thank you for being a part of that.
and so that drives me. I like to voice act. I like to do cartoons. I like to do I like to do live action stuff. I like to do these things because it's part of what I want to do. I want, like, my goal of succession is to make someone have a good time or to experience a good story or just like make them feel something, and that's what I want to do. And granted, if I can make money doing that, great. You know, I've worked for other studios and stuff like that, and I have a great time doing that in a corporate sense. But when I can work on something of my own that I get to walk away with and go, I did this. I can present these to people. Exactly. Success doesn't mean money. Success means you.
Yeah.
Someone agrees.
What? Sorry to finish. I thought you were.
I have one thing after you do.
Okay, cool.
All right.
I don't
Eating
know.
vegetables. I don't know. Go ahead. Your turn.
Oh, I was gonna continue. Well, so I never really went into YouTube. I make music for a living. Like, that's what I do. I'm a performer for a living. I never really expected to make much money off of YouTube, but YouTube definitely helps me. If I make a video, if it gets 20,000 views, I don't make any money off of that video from YouTube, but people are more likely to go watch a video than go, like, click a link to watch a video than click a link to listen to a song. Way more likely, because it's you know, you get something. So if you can get a clever video to go along with it, then you have a better chance. So YouTube has definitely helped me, and people find me, and people buy my music from the links on YouTube and stuff like that. So it's not like you it has to be the place that you make money. And again, I go there, I make something I like, and I put it on there, and then people can find it and find me.
Right.
And I can go and it can help my living making music.
One quick thing just to show you why you should do this, because you love it, not because you should want to make a job out of it. I have a lot of friends, obviously, who do YouTube for a living, and most of them it's part-time. Almost all of it is part-time. The ones that are full-time, my buddy Ken, you know him as Cinnamon Toast Ken, who's actually a Tennessean as well. He told me that he didn't see enough income to make it a real job until after he had reached over 250,000 subscribers, and he was averaging 50 to 100,000 views per video, times like 3 to 4 times a week. So that's the level you have to be at to even make enough money to barely live off of.
Yeah.
That's the point. So you have to get a lot of views. That's why you should not do this just because I'm in it for the money. Oh.
You don't get that sweet YouTube health insurance?
Right. Right.
Oh yeah,
So
I'm waiting for my YouTube card to come.
To talk very, very
We
briefly.
have one more down here.
Oh, sorry.
It's okay.
I was just going to
Don't
talk
be so
about
giving.
the social media aspect that was brought up at the very beginning of this line of comments was, if you do find yourself though on the cusp of like, you kind of wake up one day if you do find that you're starting to grow this following and you're like, I think we might be on the edge of the precipice here, like we're going to dive full into internet celebrity. That, you know, it's weird to talk about because we went about it in a very off-kilter way in that we didn't promote ourselves whatsoever. We were brought up entirely through word of mouth, again, because of that immersion, and that's why we're here. But I do think that as a general rule, if you find yourself there, that's when you really need to be diligent about, you know, keeping up to date with your social media. Make sure that when you make a video, people know about it, because the subscriber numbers actually don't matter whatsoever. They'll get an email and probably a junk email account, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't use my real email addresses for stuff like YouTube, because I'll just get spammed all the time. You know, you need to be on Twitter and Facebook and stuff like that. Let people know what you want to do, because otherwise it's just an uphill battle.
Yeah. The other thing I was going to say, sort of tangentially, there's a word I can say, to that, yeah, and I'd be interested to see if y'all all feel this way as well, is that I never know what's going to hit, I never know how people are going to react. And
if anyone knows, I would love
right,
to find out.
If you know the secret formula, we have a chair. We're kicking this guy out, you can have his chair. Sorry, John, you're off the island.
I was telling you the secret formula, but you couldn't hear it.
Oh no! Bad audio. So, one of the things that a friend of mine, Darius Kazemi, talks about is since it is kind of like a lottery, buy a lot of tickets. Just keep creating, keep doing, keep trying different stuff. You know, we had like this weird burst around, we were doing a short, semi-connected set of skits on the government contractors of S.H.I.E.L.D. They're the ones that make sure that Hawkeye has to fill out the requisition form for his boomerang arrows. And all of a sudden, there's like these people who did government contracting, like, that's really funny. All right, there's an audience that all of a sudden we didn't know we had.
So, you guys are brilliant. What's the question that hasn't been asked or answered? Anyone got a question? Do any of you ever use Avid software?
I used to use Avid software a lot, and it was it's very expensive for what it does, and Adobe caught up with them and just ate their lunch. And there's not really a lot of comparison between having a full-speed 4K processing video studio that costs, $1.5 million and has, all the trilinear sync generators you can shake a stick at. But the fact is that Avid, from my perspective, it costs a fortune, and because it's professional software, it ends up getting supported at the professional level, where you have a service contract with Avid in order to allow yourself to call a fan. So, for instance, I had an Avid piece of hardware that broke. It was a very, very small piece of hardware. It was like a $600 piece of hardware. And they wanted a $3,000 service contract to talk to me about it. So I just had to throw it away. So, depending on where you're at in your career, Avid, maybe? I don't know. I did videos for the president on it. but I don't know. That
Avid is the it's the one that's professional because it says it is.
Well, no,
kind of.
I mean, not really, because you know, Avid is able to do real-time processing right when the technology emerges. So when Red comes out with their 56K camera, whatever, then and you need a data truck to handle the dumps, then Avid's going to have the software that supports it.
Okay.
But if you're not, you know, a major news outlet or National Geographic or
Whatever.
yeah, I don't.
Adobe. I've never used Avid, so that's why I was asking.
I don't think you would like it.
No.
Isn't it the same kind of deal with Pro Tools, where it became the industry standard because that was all there was whenever that was?
Oh yeah.
And then later on, more things kind of caught up to it.
And of course, real-time audio processing has long been a thing now. So Pro Tools is like almost in the garbage compared to a lot of stuff, which is kind of cool and kind of unfortunate. If that's when I say learn the technique, not the tech.
Audacity is free.
Yeah, Audacity is free.
These kinds of industries have a lot of industry standard software that you can pay a lot for, but not necessarily get what you need. There may be something a lot less expensive. You know, you don't have to go and buy like Final Draft to write your screenplays. Or throughout the industry, there's all this software that was the standard, and now there are much cheaper, just as capable kind of software. Save yourself the money.
Well, and if all you do is rapid response pitches for sitcoms, by all means, Final Draft is great. You know, it's just, is that what you need it for? How much percentage of the software package are you going to use? Sorry, yeah.
We're professionals.
I'm expecting them to like jump in, so I don't want to like hog the mic like I have been.
These guys have used mics so much, you can tell. So we've got another question. Yes, in the back.
You guys like to work together as a team to make great products, but what do you recommend for individuals who are not on a team?
So everybody can hear that some of these folks are working as teams. Great. Everybody can contribute. But what happens when you're working as an individual?
Aren't you the lone wolf, John?
The lone wolf. I get to say something. Basically the same thing they do. I just do all of it myself. I film myself. I edit myself, and just it's on my right. But yeah, it's Adobe Premiere Pro is it's so affordable now, and it's so simple to use, and there's so much that you can do with it. The one thing that I do that I don't do solo is that I look for other people that I can collab with, that we have something in common or something that we can do together. That way, you know, especially try to find somebody who's bigger than you are if you're trying to grow an audience or whatever. But as far as doing it solo, just like I said, do something that you care about, that's something you love. I have a lot of friends that do it solo. I got guys that are making $6,000, $8,000 a month off of looking at toys, and they don't use thumbnails, they don't use annotation pages, they literally do nothing but look at toys, and I'm like, why do people like their stuff more than mine? I actually work solo. And then I have other friends who literally do nothing but stop motion. It's just them and a camera, and they're doing all of it themselves. It's got to be a labor of love, like we've said, and it's got to be something that it's your strong suit. It's the thing that you're not only passionate about, but it's your thing. You know, don't do something that's not your thing, and then you're going to be burnt out really fast.
The other thing you can do is
it takes consistency.
Yeah.
Because I try to have at least have a set schedule. Because the worst thing you can do is just make a video, people really like it, and then you just never. They're like slapping your people in the face. Like, you're not important enough for me to make anything else. So just try to keep doing it as best you can.
The other thing you can think about too, I think, is you may have other people. There's a community out there, a lot of different kinds of meetup groups, all sorts of things in different areas of the country, and you may be able to partner with somebody. Maybe there's somebody really good at audio, and you partner with them and you help them with a video, vice versa. So a lot of times you can collaborate with somebody and kind of trade out. I'll do your stuff.
Don't pay for it.
Don't pay for it. Pro tip number.
The internet has made the world a lot smaller place, so it's easier now than it ever
Saying
has
don't pay
been
for it is like saying you don't get
collaborate.
paid as well, though.
Yeah, that's what we'll be starting out. You're not going to get paid. So don't
Never
say
work
you're
for
tons
free.
of money.
Give them
I
trade out.
That's
I disagree. I would
Okay.
say
that's
different.
I was gonna say, as a solo guy, you don't have to do. As I make my videos myself and I make my music myself, I used to make music with people and it was fun, but now I don't have to depend on them to not do things. And if I want it done, I can get it done. If you can get yourself to focus hard enough, then you're the one who gets it done, and you don't have to wait for people to get stuff done and be frustrated with them and bug them. There's a beauty to having collaboration and having other people, but there's also a beauty to not.
Fastest way to
There's
get something
nothing
done is
for
do
it.
it.
I just get it done all day long. It's great.
I was just
yeah.
Point, counterpoint.
I was just saying that you know, because the internet has made the world so small and it's easier now than it ever has been to collaborate. You know, I have a tremendous amount of respect for people like John and Professor Shy Guy over there doing it lone wolf style because it has taken me a long time to muster up anything resembling a reasonable amount of self-motivation. And when you're doing something that is a hobby, it's even harder because it's so easy just to say, I have so much to do right now, I'll do this tomorrow. You know, it takes a lot of discipline to go it alone. But because it's so easy to collaborate now, if you ever find yourself stuck in a rut, you know, the answer can be on a message board somewhere. Just,
Oh yeah.
hey, can someone help me out here?
And I gotta tell you, if you know, like we have shooting days that, you know, we'll have spent $200-300 on it of our own money, and there'll be 20 people showing up, and you know, you think like, I would call this off if it was just me, but now I can't.
Tax deductions.
Another question. We've got time for maybe one or two more. In the back.
For somebody who has no experience with video editing, is there something you would recommend? You know,
Windows Movie Maker.
They actually have
Not pro tip number 9.
Sony Movie Studio Platinum is on Steam for like $60. They sell it on Steam now. It's not the best, but it's not by far not the worst either. So.
YouTube tutorials.
And that too.
All day long.
software, but just like, how do you teach yourself?
I can actually speak to that
Trial
because
and error.
I taught myself video editing, and I was not great at it, but I was passable. And it really just took making a lot of videos and trying it and then saying, well, that kind of sucked. Why did it suck? Can I make it suck a little less? Go and watch.
Make
Go
mistakes,
and
learn
watch.
mistakes.
From your mistakes, it is trial and error.
And you just
And
see.
tutorials, like what he said.
Yeah,
Everything has been taught on YouTube already.
It's a YouTube channel. They're not saying YouTube tutorials.
Let me get there.
I don't get it. Thank you, Professor. That's why you're the professor.
Promote YouTube.
No, I mean not even that, but like I've learned when I want to learn something, it's when I was learning guitar, I had to learn from books, and that was cool.
Thanks, Grandpa.
But now there's YouTube things to show me how to hold it and to show me how to do all those things. It's a lot better. You can find it out like from a person, but right now YouTube, almost every aspect of anything I've used to learn, there's a flipping video on how to do that specific thing.
Well, I
You know
think
how to
too,
search.
when you're working solo, I mean, lynda.com saved my butt more than once.
Lynda.com?
Yeah, L-Y-N-D-A.
It's a subscription service, but it's a lot more like they're really long tutorials.
Is that
Okay.
cheating? Married cheating site?
No, John, we're going to talk about that at 6.
They come with, lynda.com also comes with project files as well. And they are like courses.
It's so good.
And yeah, so especially for those of us who have a day job, you can find an excuse to get your company to buy you a lynda.com subscription. I guarantee
I
it.
used that in my editing class in college. They were like, you get a Lynda account and watch these.
That's
If
awesome.
if you know anybody that's in a film course and everything, I can guarantee you their class has a like communal subscription. Just find one of the students there, become friends, and get the login in. That's all you got.
Your new best friend is on the front row if you raise your hand.
That was subtle product placement on the panel number 3.
It's Linda with a
Also
Y, by the way.
one-way ticket to the pokey. So
Linda.
we've got like Linda.
Melinda.com.
Melinda. No, she's on our. No, never mind. You're gonna get us in so much trouble. One more question.
Okay, thanks for coming.
Oh, there we go, right here.
If you make a terrible video and post it on YouTube,
Welcome to the club.
is
Just
it
do it.
better to delete it or just leave it?
Leave it up there.
Make
Leave it up
another
there.
one.
Never do
Make
it.
another one. Do it again.
Never delete your work.
Keep doing it over and over again.
And if you use it as a reminder,
There you go, exactly.
Yeah. Learn from your mistakes, and if anything, ask yourself what made it a failure. Did not people see it? Did you get bad comments or whatever? Learn from mistakes, but also if you don't think it's bad, but other people do, okay, learn from different things that you think are mistakes and keep moving forward. Because eventually you can make something that's really going to make you happy and other people happy too.
Use it as a flashback 5 years from now.
Yeah.
Remember that one
That's
time?
always fun. You can always leave it up on YouTube.
As an example, the I'm not like ragging on the Smosh guys or anything, but
That's okay, they're not here.
They like own the country now pretty much on YouTube. Like they're huge. Their first video was them lip syncing the Pokemon thing, like on their webcam. It looks like garbage, but like it's still up there as far as I know. So like it's
Millions of views.
yeah, and you can go back and see how much you've grown. Then that's a good thing to do.
Always. So, I don't know about you, but I've had a ball up here with this panel because they've answered the questions that I wanted to know the answers to, and I hope it was good for you too. Can we thank our panelists? Thank you so much.
Shameless self-promotion time?
Shameless self-promotion time as we
Shy
wrap.
Guy, where did they find you?
In the dealer's room. If you just Google Professor Shy Guy Bandcamp or YouTube or whatever you want to find me on, Groove Shark, no Groove Shark's dead, Groove Shark died, Spotify, all those things. If you just Google Professor Shy Guy, you can find me. Bandcamp's the best place. You can hear it, you can listen to like all the tracks, and then if you want to buy it, it's the cheapest there. So it's just the best place to get it.
We're disasterpiecetheatre.com, the theatre makes it fancy, and also on YouTube as DP Drama Club.
Oh, that's all three of you. YouTube.com. YouTube.com/John3.0 is my personal channel, and if you can just type in John Baylor Epic Voice Guy, you'll find all of the things that I've worked on. But Epic Voice Guy is like a lot of my handles for Instagram and Twitter and stuff.
Really?
Or if you just really want to see like stuff that I've actually worked on, like voiceover wise, you can just go to johnbaileyvo.com, and you can see tons of things that I worked on. Like, oh crap, it was in there.
If you want to check out our series Marble Hornets, you can go on the YouTube page, Marble Hornets. And also, we have our Clear Lakes 44 new series that is up on the Marble Hornets channel as well. And if you want to watch more of our comedy stuff, you can check out FAC. We have new videos every Tuesday.
Troy as a camera.
Troy as a Camera is the YouTube URL. But no, that's the URL.
And to clarify, it's Marvel, not Marble, right?
No.
Just in case.
But,
you guys
if you want to see some of my personal stuff, you go to Twitter, just look up Left-Handed Saki. What's up?
See your personal stuff.
Hey, hold on a second.
This is a family show, folks.
Family show.
Until 10.
My Twitter is Left-Handed Saki. You can see some stuff. I update about other things I'm working on. And Fact.tv.
Fact.tv is the website that has all of our stuff on it.
All right. Thank you all for coming. Thank you guys for being here. Or did you have anything else? The collective has spoken. Thank you so much.